Did you guys see that there was a Title VI lawsuit filed against Pfizer for some, in the Civil Rights Act, there's something called Title VI, which means that if you take federal funds of any kind, you can't discriminate. And Pfizer has a program to recruit African American and Latino people into the company. And they're now being sued because, Pfizer takes NIH grants. They, work with the US government. They work with Medicare. They work with Medicaid. And so as a result of that, it's really happening 1 month before something else that we talked about, which is there's the affirmative action case that's going to the Supreme Court where I think it's Harvard actually, pushing back on Harvard's ability to have some form of race-based admissions. So I just don't know if you guys were monitoring this. For me, I just took a step back and I thought, look at what has happened legislatively in 2022. We basically repealed Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court also went after concealed carry in New York and said that New York cannot legislate against concealed carry, which had pretty big ramifications with respect to gun laws. The consensus opinion is that we're going to repeal affirmative action in the next month, or the Supreme Court is going to do that. These are 3 pieces of an enormous change in the United States civil society that has happened in a really small, condensed period of time. So I have these thoughts on affirmative action, but my other thought is it's incredible how conservatives have been able to organize and how disorganized, progressive have been in order to create a counter maneuver against them. Because this has been a systematic effort since Karl Rove literally wrote about it in the mid-2000s, said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise a bunch of money. We're going to redistrict everything. We're going to get the state legislators on our side. We're going to basically, fund the Federalist Society. And they did it. And in 20 years, they've created an enormous amount of change that I'm not sure all Americans agree with. Meanwhile, the progressives are just kind of like navel gazing at each other.
I mean, and then you left off this past week, Chamath, that it seems like the gay marriage bill is going to be put to a vote and that they're not going to be able to find.
I didn't see that. What?
Yeah. And Ted Cruz said he's not going to vote for it because it's attacking religious freedom. So we had talked on a previous episode, and I think, Zach, you said you didn't think gay marriage would come up. And
no, if I had to guess what the political gamesmanship is here, because they think it's not going to pass, they want to bring it up for a vote because it preserves the issue. It intensifies the wedge issue. When it looked like they had enough votes, they weren't going to put it up for a vote. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of gamesmanship here. Look, I think enough Republicans should vote for this just to pass it. I don't think
why wouldn't they? Yeah.
Well, I think there's some issues with the way the bill is written in terms of maybe requiring religious organizations to perform gay marriages. I think that somebody should just make an amendment to clarify that's not the case to solve this religious freedom issue. I think if that happened, then you get more Republicans on board, or at least they wouldn't have an excuse. But yeah, look, I would like to see enough Republicans vote for this to take it off the issue. I don't think gay marriage is at any risk of being overturned by the Supreme Court. Remember, it was Gorsuch who wrote that opinion. So I think this is a scare tactic that progressives are able to use to fundraise off, their base. Nonetheless, it'd be nice if enough Republicans would vote to canonize, marriage equality so that they wouldn't be able to do that. That's the smart play here for Republicans.
Yeah. It looks like, by the way, breaking news in the Washington Post, Democrats have postponed the same-sex marriage vote until after the midterms. So, but I mean, you can understand why people are going to be nervous about this after Roe v. Wade.
Maybe they're doing that because they want to run on it as an issue. They want to have that as an issue.
Yeah.
I mean,
smart move, force it. The 70% of people are in favor, right? 80%.
Look, if Republicans want to be smart, find 10 Republicans in the Senate who can support this. Announce now that you're going to support it. Come on, Republicans, have a brain. Don't let them change the issue from this economy that's spiraling out of control. I mean, the Republicans are clueless.